right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm John Kroll with Tech Reformers, and today I have two esteemed guests, Alex Ball, who's the head of Senso's North American division, and Chris Spinks, who is, who is a technical account manager with Senso. So we're really excited today to show what Senso can do. I'm really excited how it's focused, or this product itself is focused on teams and really empowers teachers and staff to manage chats and messages. So with that, Alex, do you want to do a little kickoff?
Thanks, John. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for the introductions. Yeah, hi everyone. We wanted to give you a short presentation today of the Senso safeguarding application that we've built for the Microsoft Teams chat functionality. So I have my colleague Chris, who will be giving a little overview of the product shortly, but just wanted to give you some background to this. We've essentially worked very closely with Microsoft to develop an agentless app, which is really designed to protect students and staff in the Teams chat application. And we've kind of built this as an extension of our general safeguarding functionality. And it's something that we can provide on any device, anywhere, whether you're BYOD, as long as you're in the Teams chat functionality, we can provide this. In terms of who Senso are, we are a cloud-based software technologies company, and we produce modular edtech technologies for schools and districts. So although the focus today will be around our Microsoft Teams integration, just to give you a short overview, we do also have modules for Class Cloud, which would support classroom management tools for teachers to focus learning. So we have tools like live thumbnail viewing and block allow lists, those kind of things. We also support areas with our network cloud product for technical teams to remotely manage devices across a network. And another core functionality we have is our Safeguard Cloud, which is essentially the engine behind our Microsoft Teams integration. We are essentially ensuring all students and staff are safe online and protected online with keyword detections and real-time monitoring that obviously you'll see as part of our demonstration today. And we can bundle all of these products together to create an enterprise solution. In terms of the distance learning and online safeguarding of Senso, one of the key things that we've seen in the pandemic is the need for remote and hybrid learning environments. And I think with the explosion of use of Office 365, and in particular Microsoft Teams, we have seen some challenges that's presented for schools and districts. So we know that a lot of schools fear having private chats between students, teachers that they can't monitor. We've seen a lot of schools that have reduced their use of Teams because they're concerned that things aren't being monitored properly, and will like to have a teacher very much in front of that chat. What we've developed is something that can essentially give schools that peace of mind that they can have a monitoring solution in the background, tracking everything that's going on with threat detection that is going to alert them. One of the things that we have done is we've built out a whole series of keyword libraries. So just some examples in here: self-harm, suicide, violence, adult content. We have keywords that are constantly monitoring for any threats that appear from those keyword lists. We work with leading organizations like the Internet Watch Foundation. I know we work with companies like Mental Health America that we're talking to about building out our lists. And you'll also see we have image analysis in here as well. So we've seen lots of examples of chats being bombed during the pandemic, where people have been sending inappropriate images on chats. Again, with this product, we can analyze that, and we can keep everyone safe. In terms of what our customers say, I've just put together some quick examples of some quotes that we've actually had from some of our UK customers using Teams. We do support over 5,000 schools in the UK, so you'll detect from the English accents today, it's kind of where we're headquartered, but we do actually have offices in Texas, and we work with well over 100 school districts across America for this integration. But as you can read yourselves, I won't read them all out. You know, we have some very happy customers that are found using this Teams integration. They've been able to monitor in the background, and it's kind of alerted them to any particular threats that have taken place that they can jump on and ensure that the learning is focused and everybody is working in a safe environment. So in terms of that, we'd like to take you into a short presentation with my colleague Chris now of the Microsoft Teams functionality.
Yeah,
Over to you,
great.
Chris.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I must say, before we start the demo, viewer discretion is advised, just because of the very cool things that we do around safeguarding and monitoring what students are saying. There's obviously a lot of words and acronyms that may offend you, so I hope I don't offend you. But yeah, it's just so you're aware, because we obviously monitor a lot of images and a lot of messages and keywords that can be quite inappropriate. So hopefully we'll be able to show you a bit of an insight of how it would look in a real life scenario. So what we'll do today is we're covering the Microsoft Teams Senso application, which you can see on the screen here. But before we go through and dive into the functionality and show you what we can do, it's really important just to understand how easy it is to set up. So the beauty of working with Microsoft directly on this is the fact that they have provided us with API access and specific API access which other vendors aren't able to kind of utilize. And what we've done is we've basically partnered with Microsoft, and we're able to monitor all keywords and all images. But what's important is you don't need a client to monitor what your students are doing. So obviously with Teams, it can be used at home, it can be used at school, lots of different types of devices, whether that be school owned or personal. That's the threat with Teams, is it's accessible anywhere as long as you've got a web connection. Now, in terms of actually setting up the Senso integration, all you have to do is authorize Senso. And what that does is it just comes up with a login for Office 365, and what you'll do is your credentials for your super admin for Office 365. And once you've actually accepted the prompt, and once you've logged in, it will bring in your Office 365 tenant at the very top. Now, every district we've spoken to has a slightly different setup when it comes to their Office 365 tenancy. So some districts might have a district setup with multiple subdomains or domains for each one of their sites that they're responsible for. So what we can do, say if there's 5 schools in the district, maybe 3 of the schools are really interested in using this product, we can just map over the domains for those 3 sites, and then the monitoring will take place within 30 minutes of actually applying that. So you can decide who is monitored, what sites are monitored, and that's one way we can integrate with the tenant. The second way, which is a little bit more granular, is actually mapping over the students and users by security groups. So all of your districts will have a security group set up for staff, for students, and for all of the different grade levels. And this just allows us to map them over, and then you can be very specific in terms of what students or what users you will be monitoring. Now, we also have had a couple of questions asked. Can we be flexible in terms of who we're monitoring? So for example, some districts may not want to monitor specific individuals such as the principal and etc. So if you wanted to, you can exclude people from being monitored. But as soon as you've authorized Senso and gone through all of that domain mapping, within 30 minutes, your messages will start to be monitored via Senso. So you don't have to push out any software, any Windows software, extensions, anything like that. You simply authorize us through this website here. So what you're seeing here is the Senso portal. You can also be very specific. Once you've set the system up, you can provide access to your faculty, and you can really delegate and customize what can that person see. So you might have specific sites within your district, and we can be very granular in terms of what site they can see and what grade levels and other year groups that they can see as well. So for example, if you've got a principal at one of your sites, we can make sure that principal can only see the site that they're responsible for. We also have email alerts within our system as well. So you will receive live email alerts for anything that falls under the urgent and critical keyword libraries. So all of our keywords are categorized into those 5 severity levels. You've got low, medium, high, urgent, and critical. And the reason we separate them out is we would like you to be able to prioritize. So if there was something that was urgent or critical that might need some immediate attention, and you might want to intervene as soon as possible. So you'll get live email alerts for anything that falls under the urgent and critical severity. So what I'll do is I'll just jump into the application. So as you can see here, and again, I apologize for anything that you see on these chats, but what I've got is I've got a one-to-one chat open with my colleague, and any of the keywords I put into this chat will be recorded on the screen that we were just on. So I'll flick back to that screen in a few moments. What we can also do is really interesting. If a student deletes a message, we can still see the original message that they put in. So if a student deletes something, it doesn't delete it from Senso, we still have that evidence. And also if they edit any messages, so for example, they might edit the word bully to Senso, for example, we would be able to show you that the original message was Senso, bully, and they edited it to Senso. What we also offer is a reporting tool, which you can allow your students to report concerns via Teams. So say if one of your students received a indecent message or something inappropriate from another student, they can actually report that to the district, and this will just leave a report concern. So they can just leave a little bit of detail in that alert, and that will send an email alert to the specific person who's responsible for that site. So we do have that report concern ability, and they will be given a copy of all of those chat logs. So really nice if students are maybe being sent something inappropriate and they just want to report it to a member of staff. What I'll do now is we'll just open the Senso application. So with the Senso application, we do support single sign-on. So once you're opening the Senso app, you will be presented with the page that you'll see here, and this will be specific to your site. So those permissions I showed you a few minutes ago, where you can customize what sites they can see, we will read those permissions straight away, and you'll just be presented with a dashboard for the site or for the users you're responsible for. So you've got this week, we've had 11 violations. Last week we had 9, and it's just giving you a breakdown of how many out of all of the violations, what's the breakdown of each user that's triggering those violations. And you've also got a breakdown of how many were images and then how many were phrases that were captured. The word cloud will just show you all of the keywords that have been triggered in the past 7 days. And then you've just got a quick chart to show you the top 5 users. And the violation severity would normally show you, out of those 11 or so violations, how many are minor, moderate, severe, urgent, and critical. So it does break them down into the severity. So if we go in now and view the violations, so it will default for today. So a few moments ago, you saw on my chat, I just typed in 3 messages. You've got gun, bully, and knife. So if we click view log, what we can see now is a little bit more detail. So we can see this is from myself, and it does give you the Microsoft account that sent that message. We can also see who the message was sent to. Now, this doesn't just cover private chat. A lot of schools have disabled private chat because of the risks involved with having Teams open. But hopefully this will give schools the confidence to open chat up. There's definitely a lot of benefits to that, but we have had some districts who have actually purchased the program purely to monitor the channel-based chats, which other people refer to as team chats. So we can monitor private chat. We can also monitor the team chats, where a lot of your districts will be having those team groups set up for the lessons, and that's where they tend to share a lot of the resources out and have those group conversations. So you've got private chat, and you've also got the channel-based chats. But even more interesting, we can actually monitor the status message. So just a bit of it's a little bit of a cheat that students have realized recently. What you can do, even if you have chat disabled, you can actually tag people in your status, and you can send them a message, and that will pop up as if you've literally received a message via Teams. And what the other student will do is they'll tag me, and then they'll reply to that message in the status. Now, we didn't actually know about this until a couple of schools told us. So we can even monitor the student status message, which is quite interesting. If we just go back into the log, you do have a note section. This is really important. It just needs to have some detail in here. So by default, everything is set to unresolved, and that's how you know it hasn't been looked into yet. But once you've looked at this violation, you need to be noting a status. Is it resolved? Is it being investigating? Is it a false positive? So in this case, we'll put false positive and nothing to worry about. And we can save those changes, and all of that is audit logged. So it will show Chris Spink viewed this violation. He made the status change to this, and he added his notes. So all of that's audit logged. Now, really, this is all well and good, being able to detect what they're putting in, but without context, it's not very helpful. So with the context, we can view the chat transcripts, and what this will do is it will download those chats, which is actually from my Microsoft Teams app that I just showed you a few minutes ago. Now, if you remember, we did edit a message, and we did also delete a message as well. So that would be able to show you, once I've refreshed the page, the original message and what they edited it to as well. And you've also got some filters on the Teams app as well. So you can filter it by last week, by site. So this would be all of the different sites within that district. You can also look at it by severity. So you might decide to look at everything urgent and critical to start with. You can also just simply search for a user. So if you put in, obviously, the username, it's just going to filter all of the violations for that user. And you can also see that we did modify the knife example to false positive. So we changed it to a false positive, and we added in some notes. And as you can see, that status section is now reflecting that modification that we've made. So you can go further back. So I'll just go back a little bit further. As you can see now, there's a little bit more being presented, and we can see any images that are sent via the chat as well. So I won't go on to anything too inappropriate, but hopefully what we'll be able to show you here is, obviously, we've picked this up because of our gore library. So what it's done is it's detected the blood on the screen. And as you can see here, these are all of the different types of categories that we monitor when it comes to images. So we essentially have an artificial intelligence program which is constantly scanning images, and it will learn what those images are and what they contain. Another example, this is coming from our extremism library. So it's very good at detecting those common kind of emblems and those things on the screen. Obviously, you've got the swim underwear, and then this one as well is from our drugs library. So if you go into the chat log transcript, you will be able to see the attachment here. So these attachments are those JPEG images that those students have been sending across. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of things that you can do with inside the application. We do also have a couple of reports that are built into Teams. So in just a few seconds, we can essentially have a breakdown of the past 7 days again. So in the past 7 days, we've had X amount of violations. And again, it's just breaking them down by the severity. And then again, you've also got the keyword cloud, which will show you every single keyword that's been typed in the past 30 days. So that's the Senso Teams app. And just to finish off on this demo, we have the exact same interface, which is available within the Senso portal. So this is just a web-based URL that you can go to. So whether you prefer using the Teams app or whether you'd prefer using the Senso portal, they essentially offer the same functionality. And we do also provide you with definitions. So some of these terms you might not understand. They might be acronyms or slang that students use. And we will provide you with a definition of every single keyword just in case. On the right hand side as well, you've also got the filter of status. You can look at from, to, and again, just to recap that channel name, we can monitor private chats, the channel team-based chats, and also the status messages as well. So John, I wasn't sure if you had any feedback or any questions that you think might help, or any questions in the chat.
Oh, I think you might be muted, John.
Thank you,
There we go.
Alex. Thank you, Chris.
No
Yeah, we have a couple questions. One was, how do teachers get the app? And can a district just use the app?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple ways. So I believe the administrator of Teams can deploy the app for the teachers on their behalf, or it is as simple as literally just typing in on this store and searching for Senso, and you can see it here, and you can just literally add that in, and you can also pin the Senso app so it's constantly open. So that will obviously give you single sign-on. So as long as your email has been given access, it will automatically log you in once that app is present within your Teams app. And your second question is, yes, by all means, 100% of the functionality is available via the Teams application. And I do believe that it's better suited for teachers as well, because it's nice and user friendly with the Teams application. But it's either or. You can use the Senso portal, or you can use the Teams app, or even both.
All right, thanks, Chris. Another one is, and you may have answered this, if you have the A5 or compliance feature from Microsoft, do you think there's value in having this?
Yeah, I think I'll probably take that one, John. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've had districts who have got A5 and felt that they may have everything they need, but I think one of the things they've realized is that not only are we doing the full monitoring, and we're doing that from kind of 13 plus keyword libraries, which is far more than the compliance libraries of A5. We're providing all of the very detailed reporting that Chris went through there, so very granular reporting. And we're also doing the full image analysis as well, so that we can obviously detect all of the different kind of images and you know, show you those and track those. So we're essentially allowing you to have wider adoption of the Teams integration and get the most out of it and have it fully monitored in the background, so that you can leave all channels open and safely know that.
All right, thank you, Alex. Yeah, in me seeing this again, it really reminded me of the value of chats. You know, I've talked to school districts that really feel if they're locking chats totally, the kids don't have the chance to connect. And now with students still remote in some places, it sure helps if they can stay connected. So with that, I want to just thank you both. Chris, awesome demo. Alex, thanks for your overview. Anybody out there, if you are interested in this and see a value in your district for using Microsoft Teams app from Senso, you can let us know at Tech Reformers. You can email info@techreformers.com. So with that, we will sign off, and thanks for attending.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John.